Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be telling you the story of how I got Pascal, my veiled chameleon. So at the time I was working at my local zoo and my boss texted me a picture of information about a chameleon that someone no longer could care for. So she texted me knowing that I love animals, and she was like, would you be interested in this chameleon? And it barely had any information on it. It had said that he was about 2 feet long, that he drinks out of a water bowl, that they were looking for someone who could give him more attention and more time. And so I, of course, was interested, so I asked my parents if they would be okay with me getting this chameleon, and so they agreed. I messaged the lady who was giving him up, and she told me that she just wanted him to go to a good home because she didn't have enough time for him anymore and wanted someone that could give him more attention and more care. So I arranged to call her and ask her some questions to see what exactly I'd be getting myself into. He was not receiving the best care, and he had previously been rescued before, so I am his third owner, as far as I know. So I called her and I asked her some questions, and she said that he wasn't receiving any calcium or vitamin supplements, and that he was being hand misted about 2 times a day, once in the morning and once at about 5 o'clock, and he was given 10 crickets every day. I asked about the age and the gender, and they said that he was about 3 years old. He is full grown. I don't know how old he is though. I'm just gonna assume he's 3. And then I told her that, yeah, I'd be willing to take him. I knew I had to do some work to get him to be living an ideal life. I went online and started doing as much research as I possibly could do in the couple of days that I had before I was going to go get him. And so I went on this website and I made an account called ChameleonForums.com. Oh, he doesn't like my hand. I just learned as much as I could. Everything about their diet, their supplementation, lighting, heat requirements, cage requirements, and just everything I could learn. And so I learned that he shouldn't have a water bowl in his cage because water bowls can harbor bacteria that can actually kill a chameleon. I started getting him on a better diet, so he's currently eating crickets, dubia roaches, superworms, black soldier fly larvae, and he gets hornworms for hydration and because he really likes them. Oh, he's mad. What are you mad about? Huh? If you were wondering, this black spot, this black spot on his chin here is because of a hornworm that he obviously will not let me wipe off, so I don't know. Maybe it'll wash off if he gets misted. Once I got him, I realized that there were definitely some things that needed to be corrected, of course. So like I said, I got his diet going better, and then I got misting better. I would mist him at least 3 times a day, sometimes as many as 5. And now at this point I have an automatic misting system that goes off every hour for him. The woman had told me that he was a girl, actually. And as soon as I got him home and started looking at him, I realized that he was most definitely a male. One of the ways you can tell is because of the coloring. As you can see, he has these 3 stripes. Pascal, you gotta hold still. Oh my goodness. Are you mad? Do you want to go back? Alright, I'm going to put him back in just a second, but I'm going to show you real quick. He has 3 stripes on the side of his body. Females don't usually have that. Usually they're just a solid green color. And he has spurs on his back legs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you that, but I will insert a picture. No, buddy. No. Here, you want to go back? Once I got him, I was checking the temperatures of his heat because he did not have any thermometers or hygrometers or anything like that to measure temperature or humidity. So I don't know how well you can see, but up there is a double dome, I think it's like Zoomed brand light that they were using, and they had a heat lamp in there that was getting too hot, and they had a compact UVB bulb, which is not good for them. It can hurt their eyes, and it doesn't give off the proper amount of UVB, and it doesn't give it off strong enough. So of course I had to get him a linear UVB bulb, which is this long bulb up here. So we got that sorted out, and I got the lighting good, and his basking spot is now a good temperature, and I had to buy a timer for the lights. He was on a timer, and it was 12 hours, which is good. His cage needed a huge remodel because he had only had 2 bamboo sticks and 1 or 2 fake plants and a water bowl, and that was it. And a vine. He had a vine. So I'm going to show you kind of how his cage was set up, and I'll see if I can find a picture of what it looked like before I redid it. So in his cage previously, he had these 2 sticks, and it was 1 stick, and then I cut it down so that it would go side to side instead of straight up and down. And he had this black vine. He does not like me. He had that black vine there. He had this fake plant, and he had another fake plant that I've thrown away, and he had these bamboo sticks in the cage as well. And the sticks here and the bamboo sticks were long, and they were in there vertically, which is not very helpful for a chameleon. They mostly use horizontal space. They like to have things that are horizontal. When I redid his cage, I had my dad help me, and my best friend and my mom. My dad cut the bamboo and the sticks from outside, and we made them exactly 18 inches long, which is the size of this cage. And then we tied everything in with fishing line so that it would be secure and stay there. I also scored the bamboo with a knife so that it has these marks in it so that he can grip it with his nails instead of just sliding off. I have since rearranged his plants. I made a good spot for water to collect, and then I gave him some plants around. I also added a live plant, which helps for humidity, and it just looks nicer. And then I added 3 more vines, so all the vines you see in here except for this black one. I also added that piece of wood and this bigger piece of wood, and I got rid of the water bowl, of course. So that was pretty much it for what I did to his cage so far. I did get the chameleon himself and the stuff that he came with all for free, which was very nice, but I did spend a fair bit of money to get him to where he is now, and I'm still not done. This cage is too small for him. It's only 3 feet tall. It should be about 4 feet tall, and it's only 1.5 feet wide, and it should be 2 feet wide. So I do plan to build him a custom cage because it's significantly cheaper than purchasing one. So I was going to build him one, and I will probably make a video about that when I do it, which means I will have to buy more vines and more sticks and buy more live plants, which I want anyways, and possibly get a longer linear UVB bulb so it lights the whole cage. But real quick, I would like to talk about why the things that I did are important for a chameleon. So the reason I had to change the UVB is because, like I said, the compact UVB bulbs are not good enough, and they don't give off the proper amount of UVB, and it doesn't go far enough into the cage. The heat bulb also had to get changed out because it was too hot for him, which is why his back looks the way that it does. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed, but I'll show you right now how his back looks. He's missing his spines about this much because he most likely, I don't know for sure, but this was from not me, not the person before me, but the person before them that had him first. They most likely had a heat spot that was way too hot or way too close to him, and he burnt his tissue and his spines, and then the next time he shed, it broke off, and it probably bled a lot, and it probably hurt a lot. Fortunately, by the time I got him, it was all healed up and he was okay. I'll show you what that looks like now, just in case anyone is curious. He's very angry at my phone being in his cage right now, but as you can see on the top there, there's like a little indent. That is where his spines are missing and where his back was burnt. Another thing that it was important that I changed was his diet. Chameleons really shouldn't be eating every day. When they're young, you should let them eat as much as they want so they can grow. But he was an adult, so he should be eating every other day. So I do feed him every other day. Like I said, he gets a wide variety of different things. And the reason it's good to have variety is because we want to replicate what they would get in the wild as best as possible, and giving them more than just one feeder is very important for nutrients and to keep them interested in food and things like that. The reason why adding supplements is a good idea is because calcium supports bone health, and if without calcium he could develop something called metabolic bone disease, which basically is what happens when there's not enough calcium in the body. So it takes their calcium from their bones and uses it in their body, and they can easily break bones. They can't stay on branches. They may not be able to use their tongue because of a calcium deficiency, and it is just very bad for them. You can stop metabolic bone disease, but you can't reverse the effects. So it's very important to have calcium for chameleons. And adding vitamin supplements is good as well, just to help with replicating what they would get in the wild, because of course I can't replicate all the insects he would find in the wild where veiled chameleons come from, which is Yemen and Saudi Arabia. Because I can't give him all the insects he would find there, I have to supplement with vitamins and calcium to make sure that his diet is as good as it can be. Another thing that I changed that's also important is the amount of misting he gets, because they are rainforest animals, so they do need a higher humidity, at least 50% humidity, and they need lots of water in their cage so that they can drink off the leaves, because chameleons are up in the rainforest, up in the trees, and they are not going to be drinking from puddles on the ground or lakes or rivers or anything like that. They're going to be drinking off of the leaves on the tree. So you have to replicate that by spraying down plants and keeping the humidity up and keeping water on the leaves so that they can drink. I think that is everything I wanted to cover today, and that's the story of how I came to acquire Pascal and what I did to help him live a better life. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.